Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Cinema of the World press conference. And we have with us producer Sebastian Ober, who's made the film The Strange Ones. A little bit about Strange Ones. Mysterious events surround two travelers as they make their way across a remote American landscape. On the surface, all seems normal, but what appears to be a simple vacation soon gives way to a dark and complex web of secrets. We also have a very young person, Mr. Bogdan Yanku. Yeah, he's acted in the film In Blue. It's a film about a sturdy flight attendant who has to deliver a child in midair and gets involved in a confusing mother-lover relationship with a boy who's living under the streets of Bucharest. So the next director would be joining us in a short while. I request the two on stage to say a few words. After that, the floor is open for question answers. Please, Mr. Sebastian, say something about your film.
So hello, I'm very honored to be here, of course. It's a great pleasure. The Indian film industry has been booming. I mean, the independent film industry has been booming, and now in Europe we're not talking just about Bollywood. Now we've seen great films. We've seen great films like The Lunchbox by Ritesh Bhattacharya that's been a big hit in France. So I haven't come here only to show my screen, but also I was part of Film Bazaar. The co-production market takes place in Marriott. And I've been, for the past 2 days, I've met a lot of Indian producers and directors with very interesting projects, and I might co-produce some of them. Some of them looked really interesting. So yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Ms. Bogdan, can you say something about your role in the film?
Hello. What can I say? It's okay. Let me start over. So I'm playing the role of Niku, who's the boy involved in this sort of relationship with this flight attendant, and he lives under the streets of Bucharest, so essentially he lives in the sewers. Now this sort of character, I think, in a way is written not only to showcase like a character, but also to raise awareness of the problem of this network of people living in Bucharest in the sewers. You know, it's a very bad thing going on, and I'm so honored that I was able to convey such emotions in order to raise awareness of the situation going on in Romania, and so I'm so incredibly honored that I managed to get here. I never thought I'd be able to ever come to India ever, and like not only come to India but also be invited here for like a film festival. I mean, that's absolutely amazing, and India has been marvelous so far. So thank you very much.
Any questions to the two of them?
Have you seen our films? Do you have questions about the films?
Good question. We start off with a question for them.
Yes, so for the ones who haven't seen our films, mine is screened tonight at 8 p.m. in one of the INOX. And yours? Is it screened again?
Mine was screened yesterday at 3 in the afternoon, and I think it will be screened again sometime. Look at that guy.
So my film, so as you could hear with my accent, I'm French, but my film is American. So my company is based in Cannes, in south of France, where the Cannes Film Festival takes place. But there, my job is really to look for talents all over the world, and I spotted these very good directors from New York. Her name are Lauren Wolfstein and Chris Radcliffe, and I decided to offer them to make this feature film called The Strange Ones. Together, we found other co-producers in the USA, but the project was started to be developed from France. And the film was shot in August, upstate New York, and it was premiered in South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, in March. It's been traveling to more than 30 festivals, international festivals, until now. but it's the first time that we screen the film in Asia. So it's actually the Asian premiere of the film.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
As you said, you have met a lot of people yesterday and day before yesterday, and you are finding few projects interesting. But can you give me a guide and can you give me an idea what kind of project that you would really be interested in working with? Is it a wide scope of things, or is it very narrow down to a particular thing, as in social issues about a place or a thing or a person? Or is it open to every forum or any idea?
I would say everything that makes us see another culture. We want to see your culture, how it is, and I would say that as soon as you open your doors, we are very interested to see how you guys live, what all these love stories about the dowry stuff, it is still happening in villages or even in cities. How is the relationship between when you are 15 and you are in love with a girl which is 15 years old? How is it working? This kind of very cultural stuff, because in Europe it's not like this. We have our own culture about this. So all stories that Europeans don't know how you guys do. You see what I mean? And of course social issues are very important.
Great. My next question is to Bogdan.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope
That
I
is my
pronounce it right. So, this is your first movie?
No, if I'm correct, this is my 5th feature.
5th feature film.
Yes.
So you're a child actor?
You could say that. I mean, I started off. I've played in my first commercial when I was 4.5 years old, and then I've done my first feature when I was 9, which was like a Christmas comedy sort of thing, and then one thing led to another, and I'm here now.
Okay. So, it means if we call it in terms of Indian society or Indian cinema, you are a veteran now. So, which was the most challenging role you have done so far? Was this was the most challenging role, or prior to this was there any project?
Yes, no, I'm pretty sure this was it. Is the sheer fact that so far I've had roles which were very much closer to who I am as a person, but this boy is from a complete other different world, and I had to do so much research. I had to speak to people who used to live in sewers and sort of get into their mindset. And I think all the credit for my performance there, I think it all goes to Jaap van Hoysden, who's the director, who really managed to get the most out of me. No worries.
Monsieur Robert, my name is Roona Agarwal and I am with All India Radio, which is India's national broadcasting organization. You mentioned the lunchbox.
Yeah.
And so if you've seen Indian cinema and you're obviously familiar with it, you've probably seen the evolution that we've had from what we traditionally call running around trees to music to more realistic film now, reflective of how society is, which we've largely seen in regional cinema in India, but we're seeing now more of in mainstream cinema. Coming from the French film industry, do you see that kind of an evolution, and maybe in a different context, but in your own film industry? Has there been a necessity for any kind of evolution in your own film industry?
You mean you were talking about running out around trees? You were talking about Bollywood, right?
Yeah. So Bollywood has kind of evolved, right? We started out from there. We still have a lot of those, and to be fair, I think I love some of those as well.
Yeah.
But we see a lot more that reflects life and realism and the common man's story today. Like you talked about the lunchbox.
Yeah.
We now see a lot more of slice of life movies happening in India. Now, European film has been different. It's been largely a reflection of reality through the ages. But is there any other kind of evolution that's happening either in terms of story and script or in terms of sensibility that you see happening in your own home film industry?
In France, we've been very much focused on drama, as we would say, like, you know, the kind of films you see in big festivals like Cannes, Venice, this kind of festival. Lots of social drama focused. And now there's a trend from the young generation to make more into genre. So we see that some horror films getting in, thrillers, and I'm a short film producer basically, and then I turned into features 3-4 years ago. So I can see this generation trying to go more into genre. And you know why also? Because genre films export very well. Horror films export very well.
Okay.
It goes through borders.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That would be my...
Thank you. That's interesting because for us, realism is almost a genre now. In India, it's not something. I think it's it's a movement that we saw a lot of in the 70s and maybe the early 80s, but subsequently over the years, especially the 90s and the early 2000s, we saw almost none of it.
Okay.
And it's coming back now.
Coming back. Okay.
French person.
Yep.
Today I happened to see, just searching films and some information about France. I just saw a film festival for 3 months which you are promoting. I just read it. What's your opinion on a film festival for 3 months?
I am promoting a film.
In France there's going to be a film festival which is going to be for the duration of 3 months.
I don't know that. What's the name of it?
I just went through the browsers and I found one.
Thank you
could check through. But what's your opinion on a festival for 3 months when it happens?
So thank you for giving me news about my own country that I didn't know. Actually, I've been part of a festival which is running for so long. It was called Cinema d'Amore in Italy, and the concept was amazing. And this is where I picked up most of my talented directors I work with from all over the world. I found them there. So it's a good concept. It's every week they are in a city in Italy. And during this week, so directors from all over the world, they make films together. You have a DP from China, then you have a director from Italy, then you have actors from Switzerland, from Australia. Together they have 1 week to make a film, and after the week they screen the film in the main square of the city, and then they go to the next city. And they do that for 2 months and a half. They travel all over Italy. This is also a way to attract more tourism, because they are doing tourism promotion towards all these people. So I would say that if the festival happens for 3 months, at least needs to change places, to make like a tour and link it to a tourism purpose. And you can get this kind of festival financed by tourist offices, I would feel. Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about, the bureaucracy that goes behind film festival. I mean, the longer the better. Does that make sense?
And you need to have lots of content. I mean, if for 3 months you show always the same film, the audience will get bored. So either you move, or either every week new films. Yes?
Yes, hello. Five films young. I've never heard that before. That is awesome.
I did earlier. I'm Runa Agarwal again from
Hello,
All
my name
India
is Bogdan.
Radio. Hi, pleased to meet you. With whatever movies you've done and the range of cinema that you've been exposed to, hopefully, is there an ideal role that you think you would ever like to play?
Oh, I always try to make up roles for myself. I want to play a boxer at some point just to get buff and be able to fight. I really want to play Mozart for some reason. But I don't think there's like one specific sort of thing. I mean, it's just fun to think about them, like what if, but through the characters I sort of create, I try to convey and sort of send a message, a moral, whatever you want to call it. So I don't think I would ever play a boxer, or I would ever play Mozart, or I would ever play anything of that sort if it didn't mean something. Those are just mindless fun games I have in my mind, but as long as it's important and it has substance, I think anything goes.
And is there a particular method to your acting, a method of preparation?
I think this really depends on the kind of film I do. For the first, for instance, 2 features I've been in, I was very young, so it was mostly just what came in natural, what came in like yeah, natural, spontaneous in a way. And I still try to keep that as much as possible. I think being natural sort of keeps a sort of realism, but also, moving on, for instance, if it's a comedy if it's a comedy, I need to understand sort of the science of comedy and how to deliver a joke. If it's a drama and it's a character with a past, such as this boy from the sewers, then I sort of try to speak to people who've lived in that sort of situation and try to understand their mindset. It really depends on the film. I don't have one specific method, and I don't think I ever want to have one.
Okay. Bogdan, can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you are in class 11, still very young. Do you want to go to film school?
Oh my God. I think it's, in generally speaking, I think it's very sort of early in life to choose what you're gonna do for the rest of your life when you're like 19. It's weird for me. I really don't know if I'll keep on acting. I don't know if I'll do anything with like the film industry. But as long as I have a passion for it, yes, I'll keep on going. But the moment I lose passion for acting, it's gonna stop.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
So we are celebrating James Bond here. Okay. And if
James Bond is here?
No, as in we are celebrating James Bond's
retrospective.
movie.
James
Yeah.
Bond.
Bond's movie.
Yes.
So tell me one of your favorite James Bond movie, and if there is any role you want to play in that.
Oh, I want to play James Bond. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Which movie
I'd
would be?
in James Bond, in which movie? I think I'd do a good, like, proper Sean Connery, or it's a tough question. Really don't know. But I would like to be James Bond, but I think I have to be British and older and somehow taller. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what are the requirements on the bucket list of what you should do when you're James Bond. Yeah, I don't know. GoldenEye. There you go. That's what it's called. I'm not sure. Specifically told you like Sean. Any specific reason? Well, I mean, he's just cool. There's no more than that. Doctor No?
Still tell.
I don't think I've seen that one.
We just had a screening of that.
Oh yeah, you did?
2 days back.
Awesome. Great. I don't think I've seen Doctor No. Cheers.
Any more questions? Then can I ask them to come in front for a photo op? Photo.
But we stay here?
Oh, come down.
We come down.
Come down.